and welcome to the MVMA YouTube channel. Here, we meet with inspiring voices from the world of music, arts, and humanities, and we share their stories, wisdom, and insights as part of our Voices of Inspiration series. Today, we're delighted to welcome Dr. Maria Vraka, a pianist, researcher, and educator. She is the creator of the Musigenius method and a recipient of the Innovation Award for her forward-thinking work in music education. Maria's work bridges tradition with new ideas, offering fresh perspectives on how we learn, teach, and experience music. We're thrilled to share her insights as part of our Voices of Inspiration series.
In my teaching, I'm influenced heavily by sociocultural theories, especially Vygotsky's ideas of proximal zone of development and another idea he called scaffolding. So I would like to discuss about that first, to give you an idea of how we build something appropriate for our student. It's a personal thing. It goes by case. We cannot have one exercise that fits all. And in my opinion, there is no perfect method, but there is this intention that we have as teachers to discover and motivate our kids every day. So I think that will help you understand that. Vygotsky's idea of proximal zone of development is the sweet spot where whatever the child has already learned by itself through the culture that they have been brought up in, their family's preferences, their own musical potential, meets now with a teacher that will help them go to the next stage. So it's just at the point that something is not too difficult, but not too easy either. So it needs a lot of imagination from the teacher, a lot of creativity to find this connection. And the other idea is scaffolding, which means that we create structures that will help the child achieve certain things at the beginning, and then we start removing these structures. For example, I have made a book with color-dotted notes, which eventually give them their place into note names, into rhythm, into black dots, into black keys, into finger numbers, into notation. All of that it's a scaffolding where we give them something that will give them access to play very quickly. And then as soon as they start understanding the geography of the piano, understanding the function of the sound, we start replacing the materials we gave them that made things easy with something that is more now seriously into the actually Western notation. And I have been doing that with kids that are 4.5. So you always have to be listening. That's the best skill. We're musicians, but many times we don't listen. We just go there with our preconceived ideas. I mean, I did it myself, came out of the conservatory with these ideas to basically change music education, which is what every young teacher has. And we do, because we bring new methods, we bring our experiences that some they were bad and we don't want to repeat them, some they were good and we want, but that wouldn't work unless we focus on the material we have in front of us, which is the pure potential that a young child has. There are different scenarios. You can go to somebody's home and the child is all ready on the piano, listening, ready to get whatever you had in your mind with the notation. They are mature enough to do that at any age. It can be 4.5, 5, 6, it can happen. There is also the case that there is a shy child that is in the corner of the room that doesn't want to come anywhere near you because you are now a stranger. Or the other case, a child that because it's music class jumps up and down, runs, and because music is a happy hour for them. So what do you do with all your academic qualifications and your pure intentions to really teach them? The first thing you do is try to find a connection with them. If they are shy and they don't move, you start playing familiar things. I do believe that using familiar songs is the key to introduce yourselves. You have to become part of their world. So you ask them what is their favorite song, or you ask them, do you recognize this? You start a dialogue. In the case of the child that jumps up and down, you start accompanying their rhythm with your playing. And they will be interested very quickly, because in that moment, you become an orchestra. So the games that you need to use in the first lesson is this question answer games. It could be from zero interaction, like you playing something and just following their emotions, following them, see how in their face they start feeling a little bit more relaxed. Or eventually children always trust you and they will try to do something. So you call them on the piano and say, come and try. There are these games where, very common, with the low registers for big animals and the high registers for light animals. So you create stories. Whatever you want to do, you become part of their world, things that they recognize. There is a particular exercise that I call follow the leader. And that exercise has stages where you can see a dialogue developing into from something random to something really structured very quickly. You play something on the piano, a little rhythm, and now you ask the child, say, now you repeat it. The child probably will do something completely different, because it's their perception of what they heard. So then you imitate what they did. And all of a sudden, that becomes a little bit more structured. So if they realize that you repeated what they did, they like that. And then you make them the leader. So you say to them, you play first and I will repeat. In that way, something that was like a random game becomes a real dialogue. And with that, you can build in different things. You can explore the dynamics of the piano, like soft touch and heavy touch. You can talk about the black keys and the white keys, the geography of the piano. You can also explore the sounds of the piano, but not just the keys. Start knocking on the actual body of the piano. Make this instrument that looks so difficult or so foreign to them, make it more familiar to them. So that's a good exercise. Also, if you like to introduce nursery rhymes, one of the best ways is to use colored dots. There are some nursery rhymes that are very simple, like Mary Had a Little Lamb, or Hot Cross Buns is the easiest that I know, 3 notes. They follow the dots and they start reading instantly. So the result can be instant in one lesson, where they understand that if you press certain keys of the piano, they will hear certain sounds, and from these sounds, music is made. Because for the children, this is something very alien. Music is a holistic thing, is a whole thing, something that they feel in their bodies. The idea that music is broken in little pieces is completely out of their world. But if you make it according to their age, like something that they can access at the point that they are, then this idea of following dots, of following notation, is developed very, very quickly. And routine is something that we need to start building from day one. When children start music lessons, they have to understand the idea that they need to practice. They need whatever happens in the time that they are with their teacher once a week. They need to practice when they are on their own. You have to tell parents to try at least 2 or 3 times a week to do something. But again, the routine doesn't have to be something very strict at the beginning, giving them some advice in repetitions. So I make boxes that they tick, because for kids, say practice 5 minutes 3 times a week means nothing. But if you say tick 3 boxes 3 times a week, then they will do that. So even with practice, it has to be something manageable. It has to be a short-term goal. So you give them you shouldn't be too ambitious at the beginning. You give them something little to do, and you try to do most of the practice with them while they are in the lesson. But it's very important that they understand that there is a second part of these piano lessons and instrumental lessons, which is their effort at home. If we manage to do that from the beginning, then we can build on that. It's something that they as the time goes and things become more challenging, they practice more. But this idea of practice has to become part of the lesson. So you are with them even when you are not there. That's what they have to feel. One thing that I love is boom whackers, which is these tubes that you just knock them on the floor and they make music with that. You need to be, it's a collaborative game, this one. To make music, you have to play with them. But you can use them in so many different ways. So you can use them with two hands. They can do two notes, or you can, if there are many kids, then you can just have the whole song there. But what I like with that is that it's something simple, they can grab easily. It's something that gives you instant result. Whatever you do, a sound will come out of it. I love that. If we speak about piano, I love using the black keys, which is against what traditionally we have learned. We start from middle C, which is a white key, but in a child's mind, the white keys are very random, though the black keys are very well distributed. So it's easy to find. And there are so many songs you can do with black keys. When you teach rhythm, the black keys is one of the best things to use. Just one finger, second finger on a black key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you play something with them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to be something simple like that. But again, hot cross buns is the three black keys. Da, 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 da. Some things like that can be so easily to use. And also the idea that the rhythm is in black and white, and that these black keys are kind of look like that, they like that. So I would use black keys to introduce notation and finger numbers. So it's not a prop necessarily, but it is one of the first things that I do. There's a very nice website called G Major Music Theory. The title is not very good, but there is this gentleman there, which he has scores that he has created, and they go by difficulty. So you can find a lot of things for the black keys there. Just a tip. This is a bit of a philosophical answer, but I think music is something that we are all connected with. It's something spiritual, something to do with our soul, something very familiar to us. So just listening to music is something very, very soothing from the beginning of life. Because we live in an age that technology has advanced so much, there are so many studies that show what is happening in the brain when you listen to music. All the feel-good hormones can be produced by the body just by listening to something that we like. I found somewhere recently that when we are sad and we listen to sad music, there is a hormone called prolactin that is produced, which is the hormone that is produced when babies are connecting with the mother. So it's something we become almost, we create our own opioids, like things that makes us feel good. So there is a lot of connection between our reaction to music. Brain function, music is something that affects every part of the brain. It's probably one of the few things that has that kind of influence on human brain. Studies on Alzheimer, for example, have shown that people that had lost their ability to speak, when they listen to a familiar song, they start singing the lyrics of the song perfectly. And not only that, for up to 20 minutes after the song stops, they are able to speak, and then they lose their ability again. There is something in the brain that connects music and language, that at that moment, people with Alzheimer that lost their access to that kind of centers just access it through music. There are studies that show that playing music actually alters your brain function. So music makes you more clever because there are more synapses in the brain, and we create these kind of networks that we use for other things like math solving, predicting things. But this is all scientific and easy to find on the internet, we just say. But what is fascinating for me is that music in everyday life is probably the only opportunity where we can be present, where we become ourselves, just for these 3 minutes that we play something. So just that is enough in a stressful day, in a stressful time. So it's a very broad answer, but I think it's very easy to answer. We all know how important it is. There is a change that happens when children start getting more involved in their playing. It doesn't happen from the beginning sometimes. It doesn't happen with every child at the same time. When they start understanding their ability of producing something that sounds nice, when they start understanding what it means that when they put the effort, they can go further in their skill, something changes in them. It's a matter of identity. In the academy, for example, we have 3 concerts a year because that's what we see with the students. The minute you take them out of their house and you put them on stage, they realize that this thing that they do is actually a gift to other people. It's a gift to them, and they become more serious about that. But it's not just about music. I think music helps with non-musical things as well. For example, we teach them delayed gratification. They have to work towards a goal. And in a world that everything is instant, this is such a gift. The idea that we don't have to be perfect. Music means that we make mistakes all the time and that we have to accept that. And by correcting one mistake at a time, we become better. The idea that music is something that we share. It's not just about getting grades or getting it good. It's about enjoying and giving. Even if we play for our grandmother or for our mom and dad, it's something that gives them this satisfaction of purpose. So it's not just about becoming pianists, musicians of the future. Hopefully, some of our kids one day they will have careers, but the most important thing is that we will help them get some skills that will help them later in life that are not academic. Particular, I mean, the academic skills, yeah, music helps with maths and all that, but I'm more interested in what music does for character, what music does for identity. That's what I see with the children. That's what I would like to see with my students. There is a difference in the way we teach an adult. Adults like to measure things, to know what is achievable, to know a time frame. So, for example, adults love playing scales because in that 30 seconds that they go up and down, for them, it's like as if they have gone to the gym for their fingers and they have done this kind of warm up. So, we always break things into smaller chunks, and when they start learning, we don't give them things that are too ambitious or too long. They have to know that this is achievable, and many times they want to know the frame, the time frame as well. Adults come also with some ideas of what they want to achieve at a certain amount of time. So they will say, would I be able to play Chopin in 6 months? Of course, that's not possible, but you can say you can play this in 6 months and find what they like. We always give them things that they know the time frame and what they need to do. For me, success is very subjective. Success is the idea that they took time out of their busy schedules, that they have the courage to start learning something at that older age. It's success in its own. A lot of adult learners have a trauma that they carry from childhood when somebody said to them, "You're not musical." So they will come and introduce themselves, "I'm not musical," the first thing they say. Just come for the lesson is success. But to give you an example of the other learners that I have at the moment, one other learner, she plays the same song for 3 years now. Every time we have a lesson, she will have to spend 10-15 minutes on that song because for her, that song, the idea that she can play that it's liberating. It's like something like meditation. She loves it. So no matter what else we do, that song will go for almost half the lesson. That's success for her. Recently, another adolescent, it's the first one that I had in all these years that had her exam. She got her grade. She got married in her grade 1. And just the idea that somebody will go in front of an examiner and be judged on a skill that they just started learning, that's success. That needs a lot of courage as well. So all of these are success stories. For me, what I feel is success as a teacher when I teach them is how I see them relaxed, how I see them being present in the lesson, how I see them connect with the music and just getting musicality out of them, like the sound that they can hear and produce. For me, that's what this success is.